Hey guys, what's going on? Jebb here, and in today's video, we are going to be doing some technical analysis on Ethereum, and I am going to be updating my price prediction because if you've been watching the channel over the last couple of months, you will know that I have a standing price prediction of $2,894 on Ethereum before the end of March. In this video, Ethereum just broke all-time high, and we are going to be breaking down everything on the chart so that you know exactly where Ethereum is heading next. So without much further ado, let's go ahead and dive right on into it. By the end of this video, this is what our chart's going to look like, but first we have to go back to basics. It's really easy to look at a chart and wonder where to start, so let's go ahead and take this chart from Blank2Bank. The very first thing I'm going to want to do is tackle something called blank chart syndrome. Have you ever looked at a page and not known when to write, or looked at a chart and not known what to do? Well, the very first thing that you want to do to get rid of that is to simply throw things out and see what sticks. The first thing I'm going to do is look for major levels of support and resistance. The very first one I'm going to see is right here at $1,440. This was a previous all-time high figure for Bitcoin, and the fact that we touched here is very important, especially considering we used it as resistance here and broke above it for a new all-time high rally here. While I'm doing that, I'm also going to add the next all-time high figure sitting right here at $1,481. Notice how this level is not only the previous all-time high back on January 25th, it was also the level of support here on February the 7th. Something I do when I'm doing technical analysis is that if I see two support or resistance levels within 5% of each other, I will normally call that level a zone of support or resistance rather than just two flat levels. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to put a level of resistance at our current all-time high at $1,851. The reason we do this is because we want to go ahead and set up Ethereum's chart so that we know where it needs to break through if we want to continue to rally all the way to our price target of $2,894. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab a couple of trend lines and I'm going to show you where I put them. I'm going to put them right here, and I'm also going to zoom into the 4-hourly chart and show you another area where a support line needs to go, which is right here. Notice how we're using only candle bodies right here. We are not using candle bodies and candle wicks, and we've adjusted both of our support levels to perfectly match highs and lows. What we can see from this is that Ethereum was very clearly in a rising wedge, but Ethereum got so bullish that it actually broke bullish out of it and continued to move into this inverse head and shoulders pattern that it's been in for the last couple of days. Okay, so going back out to the daily chart, we now have everything on screen that we need to be looking at. All of our support and resistance levels are set up, and I've shown you why they are where they are. The next thing I like to do is look at the RSI and MACD to see if they are showing me anything that I want to be weary of. Notice that when we bring up the RSI with a double click, RSI on Ethereum is only sitting at 67. It's not overextended whatsoever. We have plenty of room to run. Ethereum is looking very healthy from this metric. MACD, on the other hand, has had a bullish cross back on February the 2nd. However, the last 3 days on the histogram have indicated bearish movement of the MACD, and that makes sense considering the fact that Ethereum has more or less traded sideways for the last 3 days. So there we go. We've gotten rid of our blank chart syndrome by showing where our trend lines should go, and we've also looked at the RSI and MACD. Now we have some things floating around on our head. We know that RSI is saying, okay, Bitcoin's bullish, it has more room to run, and MACD is saying, yes, it's bullish, but it's losing momentum. Now what we want to do is run through all of our technical indicators and see if anything jumps out to us. The very first thing we're going to start with is volume. Aha, something to notice on volume is that the last 11 days, the volume for Ethereum has been continuing to decline while Ethereum's price has been continuing to rally. That is not a good sign. What that indicates is an anemic rally that is losing momentum, and that does indicate that we may see some bearishness coming relatively soon. Remember, strong movements have strong volume. Moving on, if we turn our TD sequential on, we're going to see that there was a 9 flash on February the 6th for TD sequential. However, that did reset, and we are now sitting at only 5 on TD sequential for the daily chart, which is healthy. Turning on our 4 simple moving averages, we're going to see that there's not much to write home about here. They are all acting as support, but none of them have any impact on the chart currently. VPVR is showing massive support being built up in this region right here between $850 to $1,500. There is a large amount of support because of all of the trading we have done back here. What that means is that if we do correct, we will more than likely find support on one of these trend lines, this box of support that we drew, or the VPVR. So we have a lot of support beneath us. That's a good thing. One more thing to look at is our Bollinger Bands. You can see that the Bollinger Bands are indicating that Bitcoin still has room to run. We are not overextended. Notice how sometimes we get outside of the Bollinger Bands back over here, but in this case, we are sitting pretty. And finally, looking at our 20 exponential moving average, we can see that we are using it as support and not a lot more. So that's the indicators covered. I want to ask the question now, though, what do all of them mean? Remember, guys, technical analysis is broken up into 2 categories. The technicals, which is reading what they say, and then the analysis, which is coming to a conclusion on what they mean. So let's run through it. First of all, Ethereum has a ton of support in between 1440 and 1480. This is a good sign. We also have 2 uptrending levels of support that give us support around that zone. We also see that RSI is not overextended. Ethereum does have more room to run, and MACD says the same. However, MACD and volume both indicate indicate that this rally is anemic and losing steam. The TD sequential is fine. There's nothing to write home about there, and there's also nothing to worry about on the moving averages. Bollinger Bands indicate that we're not overextended, but that might be because we're losing momentum, and VPVR shows that we have more support. All of this to say that Ethereum can do two things. Either one, it can break its all-time high that is currently sitting at $1,851 and continue to rally, or the last 3 months, having rallied over 100%, might be catching up with Ethereum, and it might be time for Ethereum to consolidate. The same way that ADA and Polkadot and Bitcoin are sitting right around all-time high figures, and none of them have had major corrections recently, Ethereum might be in for one. So here is my prediction. While I do believe it is a fantastic time to involve yourself with the Ethereum project, and Cardano and Polkadot, by the way, I do believe it's a great investment, and I personally hold dozens of Ethereum. I would be careful about entering a long trade right now. Instead, I would wait for volume to return to Ethereum and for Ethereum to clearly define a trend. If you've noticed, the last 5 days, Ethereum has more or less been trading sideways between 1800 and 1850. If you know anything about candlestick analysis, then you will know what a spinning top formation is. It indicates indecision in the market, and right now, Ethereum is being very indecisive. My call is that while I still believe in my prediction of a $2,894 Ethereum before the end of March, I do wonder if Ethereum is in for a correction before that comes. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think. I'm interested to hear your opinions. By the way, if you haven't already, you can sign up for our academy, the Cryptocurrency Technical Analysis Academy, with the link in the description box down below. We've also just launched an affiliate program for it if you're interested in selling it. You can apply for that affiliate program by going to our Instagram or Twitter at CryptoJebb and hitting the link there, or you can email us at cryptojebb@gmail.com and we will process your application. If you enjoyed today's video, make sure to like and subscribe, but that's going to do it for today's video, guys. Before we go, I do just first want to thank each and every single last one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.